Vanuatu, officially the Republic of Vanuatu, northeast of New Caledonia, east of New Guinea, southeast of the Solomon Islands, and west of Fiji. Vanuatu was first inhabited by Melanesian people. The first Europeans to visit the islands were a Spanish expedition led by Portuguese navigator Fernandes de Queiroz, who arrived on the largest island, Espiritu Santo, in 1606. Queiroz claimed the archipelago for Spain as part of the colonial Spanish East Indies, and named it La Australia del Espiritu Santo. In the 1880s, France and the United Kingdom claimed parts of the archipelago, and in 1906, they agreed on a framework for jointly managing the archipelago as the New Hebrides through an Anglo-French condominium. An independence movement arose in the 1970s, and the Republic of Vanuatu was founded in 1980. Since independence, the country has become a member of the United Nations, Commonwealth of Nations, Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie and the Pacific Islands Forum. Vanuatu's name derives from the word Vanua, which occurs in several Austronesian languages, combined with the word tu, meaning to stand. Together, the two words convey the independent status of the country. The history of Vanuatu before European colonization is mostly obscure because of the lack of written sources up to that point, and because only limited archaeological work has been conducted. Vanuatu's volatile geology and climate is also likely to have destroyed or hidden many prehistoric sites. However, archaeological evidence gathered since the 1980s supports the theory that the Vanuatuan Islands were first settled about 3,000 years ago, in the period roughly between 1100 BC and 700 BC. These were almost certainly people of the Lapita culture. The formerly widespread idea that Vanuatu might have been only marginally affected by this culture was rendered obsolete by the evidence uncovered in recent decades at numerous sites on most of the islands in the archipelago, ranging from the Banks Islands in the north to Anitium in the south. Notable Lapita sites include Teuma on Afate, Uripa and Wo off the coast of Malakula, and Makue on Or. Several ancient burial sites have been excavated, most notably Teuma on Afate, which has a large ancient cemetery containing the remains of 94 individuals. There are also sites on Afate and on the adjacent islands of Lelepa and Eriteka, associated with the 16th-17th century chief or chiefs called Roy Mata. Roy Mata is said to have united local clans and instituted and presided over an era of peace. The stories about Roy Mata come from local oral tradition, and are consistent with centuries-old evidence uncovered at archaeological sites. The Lapita sites became Vanuatu's first UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2008. The immediate origins of the Lapita lay to the northwest, in the Solomon Islands and the Bismarck Archipelago of Papua New Guinea. Though DNA studies of a 3,000-year-old skeleton found near Port Wheeler in 2016 indicates that some may have arrived directly from the Philippines and or Taiwan, pausing only briefly en route. They brought with them crops such as yam, taro and banana, as well as domesticated animals such as pigs and chickens. Their arrival is coincident with the extinction of several species, such as the land crocodile, land tortoise and various flightless bird species. Lapita settlements reached as far east as Tonga and Samoa at their greatest extent. Over time, the Lapita culture lost much of its early unity. As such, it became increasingly fragmented. The precise reasons for this are unclear. However, over the centuries, pottery, settlement and burial practices in Vanuatu all evolved in a more localized direction, with long-distance trade and migration patterns contracting. However, some limited long-distance trade did continue, with similar cultural practices in late-period items also being found in Fiji, New Caledonia, the Bismarcks and the Solomons. Finds in central and southern Vanuatu, such as distinctive adzers, also indicate some trade connections with, and possibly population movements of, Polynesian peoples to the east. Over time, it is thought that the Lapita either mixed with or acted as pioneers for migrants coming from the Bismarcks and elsewhere in Melanesia, ultimately producing the darker-skinned physiognomy that is typical of modern Ni Vanuatu. Linguistically, however, the Lapita people's Austronesian languages were maintained, with all of the numerous 100-plus autochthonous languages of Vanuatu being classified as belonging to the Oceanic branch of the Austronesian language family. This linguistic hyperdiversity resulted from a number of factors: continuing waves of migration, the existence of numerous decentralized and generally self-sufficient communities, hostilities between people groups, with none able to dominate any of the others, and the difficult geography of Vanuatu that impeded inter- and intra-island travel and communication. The geological rake.